the end of the day, investors counting on the SEC to save them from their own lack of due diligence or greed are kidding themselves.
We have more opportunity in our markets than anywhere in the world. But at the same time, we don't have a regulator that looks over our filings and says, I'm going to protect the public from this. Our system, we file with the SEC, and the SEC reads the disclosure, and they comment on the disclosure. They don't determine whether it's viable to be public or not. They don't make that determination. They let the free market make the determination.
Even if the SEC gets its entire wish list of documents from the company, and they have enough evidence to pursue a case, the Chinese people responsible for this don't really care.
When somebody breaks the law here, there is a process where they're accountable. At some point in a China-based company, that accountability ends, and it ends at the ocean.
This is one of the first things that Dan ever told me. In China, it's not illegal to steal from foreign investors. I couldn't believe the SEC would allow companies to list on US markets if it really had no way to police them. So I found an employee of the Chinese State Financial News Agency who was willing to take a risk to confirm the truth.
Bottom line is, the Chinese government and the US government, on most levels, don't work that well together.
You can't compel somebody that has stolen millions and millions of dollars from US investors to come here from China. You can't compel them to testify. You can't even fine them.
Forget about the average person who thinks that their broker or the SEC will protect them. Even someone like Crocker Colson, who worked inside the system, couldn't find out what was really going on with these Chinese companies.
You're in an alternate universe. There's kind of this arms race to do the simplest things. You can't even look at the bank statement. You can't even go into the local bank and ask them. A lot of times, the manager of the local bank will actually reprogram the books of the bank to make it look like the books of his client are better than they are.
Anytime you have a country like China where information is not easily obtained, any society like that is a much greater risk. In the United States, we can go directly to a firm and we can subpoena those records. To get records out of China is significantly more difficult, if not impossible.